Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking something that is so deeply misunderstood: existential exhaustion. It's that feeling of just being completely, utterly drained by life itself. You don't want to die, not at all. You're just profoundly tired of the continuous effort it takes just to keep existing. Society loves to unfairly slap labels on this, right? Calling people lazy or undisciplined. But as we'll see today, that couldn't be further from the truth. It's a paradox so many of us face, isn't it? You get home from work and you just immediately collapse onto the couch. You start doom scrolling just to escape a dull reality, looking at people who seem to have endless energy, and you're wondering, what is wrong with me? You feel stuck even when you know exactly what you should be doing. But listen, I need you to know right now, this is not a lack of willpower. There's actually a very specific invisible mechanism in your brain that is entirely draining your energy. In the world of psychology, this state actually has an official, concrete name. It's called existential exhaustion. Basically, it's a psychological state where your nervous system is completely tapped out by the hidden, continuous mental load of daily life. It's that heavy, stuck feeling that literally makes your limbs feel like lead. It's the reason why you can be sitting perfectly still, doing absolutely nothing physically, but internally, you feel like you just ran a marathon. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what's going on. Think of yourself like a smartphone. On the outside, the screen is off. You look perfectly normal and calm. But deep inside your operating system, you have like 45 heavy apps running in the background all at once. You've got an app constantly worrying about money, an app stressing over peer pressure, an app trying to be a good employee, and an app processing past unhealed wounds. Every single one of them is silently draining your battery, second by second. To put some real data behind this massive battery drain, let's look at this staggering number. Research from Cornell University reveals that the average adult today makes up to 35,000 decisions every single day. 35,000. I mean, from picking out an outfit in the morning to deciding which route to drive to work to figuring out exactly how to reply to that one email, every single choice is placing a massive, continuous load on your cortex. The reality is, human evolution simply hasn't fully prepared our brains to handle this sheer volume of information. Think about it. Our ancestors had incredibly high stakes, but very straightforward worries. Find food, avoid predators, survive. Compare that to the modern human, whose brain is constantly pinging with microstresses. We're processing global news cycles while trying to navigate traffic and plan our weekly budgets. It is a completely overwhelming cognitive mismatch. Because of this massive overload, your prefrontal cortex, which is the logical decision-making center of your brain, essentially just goes on strike. This is what we call decision fatigue. Thousands of tiny, seemingly insignificant details pile up throughout the day until the weight of them is just crushing. That is exactly why, by 7 p.m., a simple, totally harmless question like, "What should we eat for dinner?" can literally make you want to snap or just burst into tears. The system has shut down. And when the system shuts down for long enough, things branch into a rather frightening state known as anhedonia. Now, this isn't just regular sadness, it's the reduced ability to feel pleasure. Your dopamine reward system has been so severely overworked that it starts responding incredibly slowly. This means that the things that used to light you up, like say a highly anticipated new movie or a fun night out with friends, they now just leave you feeling empty. You're not crying, you're just drifting, kind of reading the script of your life without feeling any of the excitement. So, the crucial point is this. We absolutely have to reframe what society calls laziness. When you're in this state, psychology views behaviors like doom scrolling or avoiding new experiences not as a lack of discipline, but as a deeply unconscious defense mechanism. Your exhausted nervous system is desperately looking for safety. It just cannot handle any more unpredictable variables, so it goes on the hunt for absolute 100% predictability. Just look at how this craving for predictability manifests in real life. Have you ever found yourself rewatching the exact same sitcom for the 10th time? You do it because it creates a completely safe psychological zone. You know the jokes, you know the ending, and there are absolutely zero surprise emotional twists for you to process. The same thing goes for 3 straight hours of TikTok doom scrolling. Even when you feel intensely guilty for wasting time, you're doing it because it provides a predictable, low-stakes loop for a fried brain. This exhaustion also deeply affects our relationships, which often leads to this really tragic isolation. For a rested person, a loving message from a friend asking to grab coffee is just a nice invitation. But when you are existentially exhausted, your brain registers it as a threat. It instantly starts calculating all the exhausting required tasks: showering, driving, forcing a smile, actively listening. The thought alone is paralyzing, so you choose silence. This calculated withdrawal creates overwhelming guilt. But the truth is, connection simply drains a battery you do not have. And honestly, the saddest part is how incredibly good we get at hiding it all. The famous psychologist Carl Jung talked about the persona, our social mask. On the outside, you fix your hair, you meet your deadlines, you laugh at lunch, you're incredibly productive. But on the inside, you collapse in the dark without even changing out of your work clothes, your smile dropping like a cut stage curtain the moment you are alone. Society rewards this mask of productivity while completely ignoring the invisible battle you're fighting just to exist. So, how do we actually get out of this? Well, we are entering minimum survival mode. No toxic positivity, no 5 a.m. routines, just 3 stages to survive when breathing feels like a chore. This low-energy roadmap to recovery consists of 3 very specific stages: dropping the persona, the zero-decision protocol, and deep biological rest. Let's walk through exactly how to implement these without burning any more of your precious energy. We start with stage 1, dropping the persona through what we call social fasting. Look, just like your digestive system occasionally needs a break, your nervous system needs an emotional strike. Give yourself full permission to send your loved ones a boundary-setting text, something really simple like, hey, my battery's really low right now, going offline for a bit. Then set your phone to Do Not Disturb after 8 p.m. You have to actively remove the pressure to be a perfect partner or a high-performing employee 24 hours a day. Let's move to the next step and see how this builds. Stage 2 is the zero-decision protocol. You have to stop frying your prefrontal cortex. Put your life on a temporary autopilot system. Take a page out of Steve Jobs' book and rotate just 3 simple, comfortable outfits so you literally never have to think about what to wear. Create one simple, repeating weekly menu, like bread, chicken, and rice, and a salad. By deliberately reducing your daily choices to almost zero, you eliminate chaos. This instantly sends a powerful signal of safety to your brain, loosening that tight, suffocating feeling in your chest. And then we arrive at stage 3, where you really must understand the crucial difference between junk rest and deep biological rest. Lying perfectly still in bed while scrolling TikTok for 4 hours, that is junk rest. You are blasting your eyes with blue light, causing erratic dopamine crashes, and essentially forcing your nervous system to run a high-speed marathon. Contrast that with deep biological rest, like sensory cutoff or staring at trees. Yes, it feels like profound boredom, but it is the absolute only way to actually recharge. Stanford neuroscientist Andrew Huberman highly recommends a method for this called NSDR, non-sleep deep rest or yoga nidra. When you put the phone away and lie on the floor in silence with zero sensory input, your body undergoes a profound biological shift. Your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight road that's been keeping your heart racing, finally shuts off. After just about 5 minutes of enduring that boredom, your parasympathetic rest and digest system activates, slowing your heart rate, dropping your blood pressure, and actively repairing your stress-damaged cells. Now, what's really interesting about this next point is the shift in perspective it offers. If you are surviving a world that constantly demands nonstop functioning while your internal battery is blinking red, you are not broken. You are not a failure. Just getting through your absolute worst days is a massive achievement. You really need to hear this. Existing just by itself is already enough. You do not always have to be optimizing or succeeding. Think about nature. No tree blooms all year long. For the vibrant energy of spring to emerge, the field first has to endure the cold, seemingly empty season of winter. On the surface, it looks like nothing is happening, right? But deep underground, the roots are resting, they're recovering, and they are storing vital nutrients. You are just in your winter. Taking a deep breath, drinking water, and running on a 30% low-power mode is just a necessary season of inward recovery. Tomorrow, your battery will begin to recharge. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought. Are you ready to forgive yourself for being in your winter? It is time to let go of the immense guilt you carry for simply being exhausted. If any of this resonated with your experience today, leave a comment below, or even just drop a single dot. Let's prove to each other that absolutely no one is walking through this exhaustion alone. Thanks for learning with me today.